Hey guys, welcome to the video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the coronavirus and how it's affecting the e-com space, okay? I've been speaking to a lot of people that have stores and, in the community, that kind of thing, and, getting mixed messages. Some people are up, some people are down. It depends on the category that you're serving. Is there demand for your product? Some products are not so much in demand right now. So I just want to address the current situation and maybe give you ways that you can kind of change or adapt to your business, and then kind of give you a final thought on where this is all going and how we can see light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, let's just hop straight in. Okay guys, so what am I going to address in this video? So we're going to break it down by a few points. First one is why is there a growth spike in e-commerce orders? How COVID-19 is affecting the e-commerce industry? Should you wait for this pandemic to be over? And that depends entirely if you're a startup brand or you are maybe more established. And the last point is what we can expect moving forward as this kind of crisis pandemic unfolds globally. What can we kind of expect going forward? So let's dive in. So let's tackle the first point: why e-commerce orders have spiked. Why is there a spike in e-commerce orders? So there's three ones that I'm observing right now. So one reason for spike in growth is because of the lack of availability from local brick and mortar stores and the overall need to limit in-store exposure because of lockdown protocols. So I'm sure we're all aware that it's, we don't have the same access to just walk to branded stores, whether that's locally, and go in and purchase what we want to purchase. There's a limit to that. A lot of the only essentials now are being open, like food stores and that kind of thing, but electronics and furniture or clothing, they're all on lockdown, they're all shut down, so there's no access to that. So that's one reason for spike in online. Consumers are spending their money on things like groceries, toilet paper, and other essentials online, okay? But it's the fear of running out from consumers is what's contributing to the surge of sales for essential items. It's like the same behaviors that are being carried out now, just like they are or how they can be with Black Friday. So it's that kind of fear of going, there's such demand for these items, I better go and purchase. And a lot of people have that sort of same mentality. They're afraid that if they don't act now, they're going to lose out. So that's why we're seeing, a spend happen, the spike dramatically happening here. For essential items, okay, primarily. So, and lastly then, because of the global lockdown, shoppers are purchasing items they need to kind of curb their boredom, really, maintain their hobbies and interests, as well as good self-care and health practices. So any items that are going to help to contribute with entertaining themselves or looking after their health, mental health, as well as physical health. Comforts they can purchase in order to make this whole experience a more of a pleasant one is why we're seeing kind of that that surge in spike. So these three are definitely helping to contribute with the growth of orders online. So how COVID-19 is affecting the e-com industry right now. If you are shipping from China, the costs associated with shipping from China have risen significantly, right? The shipping times from China are experiencing bad delays right now also as well. And issues with supply chain are also concerned, factory closure or else, temporary pausing production right now. So everything is kind of at a pause right there, or it's expensive to ship out from. So you need to bear that in mind if your supplier is from China. If you're spending money on advertising, the cost of advertising is going down because there's less competition competing for ad space, okay? On times like this, marketing tends to be the first thing or one of the first things that gets cut. And, because there is less people competing and buying ad space up, there's less people bidding, which means that your costs are going to go down. You'll most likely see your customer acquisition costs lower because of the reduction in competition, okay? So that makes sense. If your products are in demand right now, increase your spend on ads to acquire more customers for lower CAC, so customer acquisition cost. So again, if you're selling something that's in demand, I would cream this right now and buy as much of this traffic as possible.
if you're selling non-essential products, this is going to be a challenge for you. Okay, you're going to see a reduced interest in products that are not seen as a priority during this COVID-19 pandemic. You know, you may get clicks from your ad to the landing page, and it may be cool and all, but it's just may not be deemed as an essential thing to buy in this case. Okay, so you need to think about your products and what problem they're solving right now at a time of this crisis. Okay, so for example, if you're selling fitness equipment, home gyms, of course, which is great, people are going to want to do that. The fitness people are going to want to purchase these things because the gyms are closed, they've limited access outside, they're indoors quite a lot, and they're not getting their fix of fitness. So this is going to help. If you have something to sell that is going to solve that problem, then by all means get out there and acquire as much of it as possible, customers. You will need to adapt, if possible, to products that are perceived as higher priority during this pandemic. So it's what are people needing right now in order to curb boredom, maintain their interest in hobbies, get over this pandemic. People are going to be stuck inside quite a lot. What is your product going to do that's going to help them get through this and beyond as well? Okay, it just doesn't necessarily have to be during this time. So you got to think about that. So that's how it's going to affect the industry right now, the COVID-19. Okay. So should you wait for this pandemic to be over, whether you're a startup or already a branded store that's out there established? So let's talk about the startup stores. You need to think about selling a product that serves a need during the coronavirus pandemic. Okay, so focus on essential items. Other non-essential products are just not seen as a high priority right now during this pandemic, so I wouldn't waste your time with them. An example of a essential item would be things like selling home gym equipment. That's in high demand right now as people are unable to properly maintain their fitness due to gyms closing, limited access publicly. We kind of spoke about this on the last slide. Examples of essential items are things like toys and hobbies. Think about your kids there, for example. They need to be entertained and occupied, so toys are great for doing that. Health and fitness, beauty and cosmetics as well is another great one too. Housewares and sporting goods, and self-care, comfort items, health and beauty. Reasons to start now. Testing products is cheaper now due to less competition on ad platforms. Shopify are offering a 90-day free trial, so check it out there. The URL shopify.com/COVID-19. That will help you get started, and you won't have to pay anything until 3 months. So you've got plenty of time to get going on that. And because there's only a handful of in-demand categories that you should be focusing on right now, it might be quicker to find winning products during this pandemic. So again, you're only going to be focusing on the in-demand categories, and I think the turnaround time to actually find stuff that works is going to be quick. So that's one way of looking at it for startup stores. So what if you're an established store in this situation? So if you sell non-essential items, you may need to either adapt to a new essential product line to sell, or use marketing angles that are relevant with the current pandemic that help you illustrate a desire for your non-essential product line. Okay, so you might need to come up with creative ways that your brand that may be not essential can maybe align with the pandemic in some way, shape, or form, and actually solve a problem or create a desire in some way with your marketing. So you're going to have to come up with creative ways of doing that. You can look at ways to market non-essential offers with special deals or product bundles, etc., to get cash flow going, to get those sales up. Okay, so you might want to do some discounting or added value in order to motivate and push people to make those purchases for your kind of non-essentials, if that's the case. But utilize existing platforms such as email, SMS, chatbot to market your offers cost effectively. These are cheap enough channels to get to use, of course, for your marketing, as you may well know. And I would utilize them as much as possible. Okay. If you're an established store selling essential items, this should be a booming time for you. And here's why. Your products are in demand, they're essential and perceived as high priority. The cost of advertising is lower due to less competition. And it's also a fantastic time to grow your brand during this pandemic due to consumer demand for what you sell and lower acquisition costs. So take this to the moon. Your brand could really thrive in a situation like this if it's an essential item that you're selling. Okay. So what we can expect moving forward? It's an uncertain world we live in right now. I'm sure everyone can agree with that. We don't know how long this whole coronavirus pandemic will last for. And in my opinion, I can see this going on for months before we see light at the end of the tunnel. As the whole virus spreads into different countries and people are getting, the whole lockdown is happening, obviously that's going to have an effect on commerce. And then you have other countries, maybe like China now, who are seeing a reduction in the cases involved. They're going to still play it safe. So nobody's going to rush into anything, okay? In terms of getting back to normal. So as the world continues to experience the coronavirus quarantine, there are a number of factors that could change how much consumers continue to shop online and the degree to which brands want to spend advertising their brand. For consumers concerned about their own job security during and after COVID-19, the market downturn may very well curb their spending and begin to define their needs versus wants. Focusing on purchasing primarily their needs as self-isolation persists. Brands concerned about possible supply chain issues may limit advertising if they can't guarantee delivery of their products. So really, guys, we're just going to have to wait and see how this all manifests and how it unfolds. What I'll try and do is I'll try and make an update video as things unfold further, and it might be helpful to everyone to sort of get those updates. All right, guys, so that's it for today. I hope you got some value out of this video. I thought it was important that I got something like this out in recent times because the coronavirus definitely is affecting not just e-commerce businesses, but businesses in general, really. But since we're all in the e-com space, I just thought it would be relevant and to try and offer some sort of help. And maybe you can adapt, perhaps, to the current situation with your store. And if you can't, maybe there's other ways that you can sort of hustle around to try and sort of bring in some cash flow during these difficult times. So yeah, I want to hear from you though. If you have anything that you need to say about this or what you're experiencing with this whole thing, I'd love to hear in the comments below. So it would be great to follow up with you guys and get a conversation going. So yeah, thanks for sticking around, and we'll talk soon.